Hi, Simon Chapple here. I'm the Quit Alcohol Coach, and today I wanted to give you 6 hacks for happiness. 6 hacks that will hopefully help you improve the levels of joy and happiness in your life. Before I dive into the hacks for happiness, if you enjoy the videos on my channel, do make sure you subscribe by clicking the little red button below and clicking the bell icon. That will make sure that you get notified every time there's a new video. There's new videos every Tuesday and every Thursday. And if you're looking for more help when it comes to quitting drinking, you can join my program at joinbesober.com, or you can grab one of my books. They're right behind me. You'll find them on Amazon, and you can get a free sample of both of them on my website if you want to check them out, totally free of charge. So let's get into these hacks for happiness to make sure that you feel as happy as you possibly can. And it can happen that after we quit drinking, in particular, we tend to find ourselves much happier. Our brain and our body begin to rebalance, and we find ourselves in a great place very often. It can be called the pink cloud phase. But I also see people who, after a month or maybe two without drinking, they find that they become a little bit flat and that they're not quite as happy as they'd like to be. And that can often indicate that they need to grow. They're crying out for more nourishment, mental nourishment, and they might need to be bringing some new activities or hobbies into their life or connecting with new people. So think about how you feel and whether you've hit a flat period or whether you feel really great. But know that having a flat period after you quit drinking is absolutely okay. I often talk about how we don't have bad feelings. We can have negative feelings, we can have positive feelings, and everything in between. But the feelings aren't bad. And the reason they're not bad is because every feeling is a signpost. It's trying to direct us somewhere, it's trying to tell us something and give us a message. And when you start thinking of your feelings like that, that they're giving you a message, what is this trying to tell me? And you begin to work it out. They're there to help us. Those feelings are useful. So don't beat yourself up if a negative feeling such as anger, sadness, or fear arises. Start thinking about what it's trying to tell you, where it's trying to signpost you to go. And the same applies if you hit a flat period after you quit drinking. Often it's a signpost to say that maybe something else is going on. Possibly you're quitting drinking and removing the mask of alcohol has uncovered some other issues that you need to start working on. You'll find some other videos about that on my YouTube channel that will really help you. Or it could well be that it's a sign for further personal growth. Either way, make sure that you pay attention to whatever's coming up. And if you just feel, actually, I am happy, but I'd love to hear some more tips for being even happier, then that's a wonderful thing. Hopefully, this will increase your happiness by a further 25%. So, the first tip when it comes to improving happiness is to have a vision board. Think about the you in 5 or 10 years' time. What do you want that person to look like? I can remember going on a workshop day and I was asked to draw a picture of myself. It wasn't very good. Art is not one of my top skills. But I drew out a picture of myself at that time, and it was a person who was sad. They were racked with anxiety, they were still drinking, they had lots of stress, and they were depressed. And then I was asked to draw a picture of me in 12 months' time and what I would want that person to look like. And we then did a meditation where we actually walked into the body of the new version of ourselves. Now, it didn't quite happen like that, but I did get to that place eventually, and it came through quitting drinking, becoming self-aware, and having a vision of who I wanted to become and how I wanted to be. And I didn't actually use a vision board. I wish I had. But having a vision board can allow you to think not just of who you want to be and where you want to be, but all of the things that you might want to achieve in your life. You might want to move house, change jobs. You might want to try for a baby. You might just want to buy a new car. Whatever it is, you can put it on your vision board, and then you can break those goals down into much smaller goals. So let's say you wanted to get married. That was your goal, and that was where you wanted to see yourself in 2 or 3 years' time. You can break that down into smaller goals. The first goal, of course, is to find a partner, a suitable partner. And you can watch my video about sober dating that will help you with that one. But let's assume you've got a partner and you've already overcome that goal. The next goal might be to work out how much it's going to cost to get married, or where you're going to get the money from. And you might start saving. So your first goal might be to sort the finances. And then your next goal might be to find a venue. And then your next goal after that to sort the catering and the outfits. You get the picture. So instead of just having one huge goal, have lots of small goals. So you feel like you're achieving milestones on the way to achieving your bigger goals. But having a vision board is such a great way to reach a place where you're finding meaning and purpose in your life, and you're doing things that tie in with your core values. And if you haven't looked at your values yet, then I highly recommend doing that and assessing your life to see whether the things that you do in your life, from your career, your social life, your hobbies, your activities, how do they tie in with the values that you have? Or do they go against your values? Are you doing things that actually push against them and they're causing you discomfort without you even realizing it? So make sure, if you have a vision board, that what you're looking to achieve and what the vision you've got for yourself ties in with your values, because that's really, really important. The more we can stick within our own blueprint of values for our life, the less suffering, the less pain we're going to feel, the more happiness we're going to feel. The more our life ties in with our values and our own personal expectations, the happier we feel. The further away our life becomes from that, the less comfortable we feel, the more pain we cause ourselves. The second hack for happiness is all about your mind and your body. Now, you probably know already that your mind can control your body. Let's just think about it. Let's say you were going for a job interview and you were really nervous and you were worried about how you were going to come across. You knew that there was going to be a panel of people interviewing you, and you could feel your nerves building as you turn up at the venue to have the interview. And as you're sat outside the office waiting to be called in, you might find that your shoulders have slouched forward and your head is leaned slightly forward too. And you feel kind of small as you sit in the chair. You're not a big, powerful, strong, confident person any longer. Your mind has affected your body, because your mind is saying that you're nervous, you're scared, and your body reacts, it responds, particularly with the shoulders and the posture that you take there. Now, it works the opposite way. You may not know this, and it's an incredible happiness hack. We can actually control our emotions through our body. So our mind, what we think, the way we feel, controls our body. Think about when you're happy. What does your body do when you're happy? It's completely different. You're not slouched forward. You feel confident. You feel positive. And it's your mind telling your body to do it. You don't even think about it. Now, equally, our body can tell our mind how to feel. The two are wired together and they give each other messages. So if you adopt a position of being really small and hunching your shoulders, that will send a message to your mind that you should feel fearful and anxious, for example, or sad. Whereas if you adopt a pose that exudes confidence, or a pose that brings about happiness with a huge smile, you'll find that that sends the message to your mind that you should feel happy, and your brain will release the chemicals that make you feel that way. And the more that you do it, the more it becomes a habit. And there is a little bit of fake it until you make it, but do that with an intention that you're training and practicing a new habit. The more you do it, the more it becomes natural, the more your mind becomes used to it, and the happier you become. One of the best tactics is to smile. As stupid as it sounds, try intentionally smiling for 2 minutes and then take a break and try it for another 2 minutes. I almost guarantee that after 2 or 3 rounds of doing that, you will feel 20 to 30% happier. Give it a try. Do it now while you're watching the rest of this video. Intentionally smile. And another excellent thing to do is to adopt what I call a power pose. So if you think of a superhero, let's take Wonder Woman, only because I've got my Wonder Woman cup on the go today. Take Wonder Woman. She stands, she has her chest out in a confident way, her head is tilted slightly back, and she looks powerful, strong, confident. She certainly doesn't look weak and small. And think of other superheroes when they adopt that kind of pose position. If you look online, you can find power poses, and doing something like a power pose for 2 minutes before you go into an interview situation will absolutely give you that sense of confidence, because it sends a message to your mind. I often do public speaking about sobriety, and I get incredibly nervous before I do that. But adopting a power pose before I go on stage can help me feel confident, feel grounded, and it will send the message to my brain that I am confident, and it will release the appropriate chemicals if I've done it often enough. It just trains my mind that, hang on, we're in this pose, it's time to release the chemicals that apply to that situation. So effectively, through your body, you can control your happiness, you can control your confidence, and you can use it to your advantage. Don't underestimate the power of this. When I say this is a hack for happiness, I mean it. It really, really works. It's something you should explore online, find out more about it and learn it. Learn it like a new skill, because you'll be able to get in a place where simply by adjusting your posture or adjusting your face, the muscles in your face, you'll be able to bring about that feeling of being happier. And that's a wonderful thing. Now, my third tip for feeling happier, and I talk about it all the time, is use your breath. Our breath is one of the few things that is with us for our entire life. We're born with our breath, and we have our breath right up until we die. We can use it as an anchor to ground us. We can use it to calm us in situations. Our breath responds when our heart rate increases, our breath becomes faster, and our mind, just like I talked about our mind and our mind will send messages that adjust our breath according to specific situations. So being able to have control over your breath so that you can calm yourself and feel more at peace during your day is an amazing thing. It works incredibly well when you feel discomfort or when you've got uncomfortable emotions or feelings. Just breathing intentionally through your nose at a fairly steady pace can be enough just to regulate your breathing and not allow things to run away with you. But equally, meditating a couple of times a day, make it an intention. Just do 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening. That's more than enough. You can use a guided meditation, use the apps Calm or Headspace, and they guide you, they talk you through what to do. You don't need to be a Buddhist monk. They give you everything you need and they talk you through it. Perfect for beginners. So if you haven't meditated, I invite you to try it. Do it for a week, twice a day for 10 minutes for a week, and then assess afterwards. Use your journal if you keep a journal, and assess what difference you've noticed since you've been meditating on a regular basis. And I almost guarantee that you will feel significantly happier. Now, my fourth tip, and it ties in with the first tip around having a vision board, is to really start to get an understanding of your meaning and your purpose. What is it that you really enjoy? What is it that you want to do with your life? And I must admit, right up until I was 40 years old, I didn't have a clue what my meaning or my purpose in life was. And it was only when I quit drinking that I started to discover how much I loved writing, how much I loved sharing my story and helping and inspiring other people. And I realized that my work in sobriety, that was my meaning and that was my purpose. But actually, I didn't discover that until I ended up in that place. So it was a strange sort of journey. But the answers are always within us. The answers are there. I might have, if I'd looked closer, realized that actually what I want to do is something around helping other people, or that I love writing, regardless of quitting drinking. But I didn't discover it. I stumbled into it. And I want to make sure that you don't do the same thing. You actually can put some conscious thought into this. And a great question to ask yourself is, where could I invest my time and energy on things that are important to me? Just think about that question. Where could you invest your time and your energy on things that are important to you? Take money out of the equation. I know we need money to survive, but very often I see people who stick in jobs that they really don't like. And in some cases, they absolutely hate purely because of the money. And they're wasting decades of their life on a career that they just loathe, and it's making them sad. And I think there are genuinely occasions where people would be better to let go of the need for X amount of money and maybe take a salary cut if they needed to move into doing something that they truly love. Now, we're all different and that doesn't apply to everybody. Please don't go and quit your job tomorrow. But there are some cases where that is the situation. And I think we need to pay attention. You know, if you're stuck in a job and you're in a rut, really think about what it is you could do that would be around something that brings you joy and lights you up. What is it in your life that you would do all day, every day without the need to be paid for it? What is that? That's what you should be doing. And absolutely, that's what I do now. Writing, making these videos, working on my website and in my Facebook community. I did that for over a year without getting paid for it, and I would happily continue to do it without getting paid for it. So what is it that you would do all day, every day, without the need to get paid for it? That's your calling. That's what you should be looking for. And remember, we're all unique. Different people enjoy different things. Focus on your individual qualities, focus on the things that truly light you up. And again, this isn't a suggestion to completely change your career. That is only going to apply to a small handful of people, but I wanted to put that in there. I think it is, though, really important to find your meaning and your purpose and feel like you really do have that in your life, so that you feel like you've got something, you've got that meaning, you've got that purpose. And it doesn't define you, but it becomes part of who you are as an individual. My fifth tip for being happier is to be okay with being imperfect. We are all perfectly imperfect. Through my work, I've realized that almost everybody has some kind of issue going on. And a lot of people on the outside, you would think that they're perfect, they've got the perfect life. But when you're able to connect with people on an emotional, vulnerable, and completely honest level, you see that almost everyone has got anxieties, fears, worries, concerns, things that they don't feel are perfect about themselves. And sometimes to an outsider, we think, why on earth are you even worrying about that? But to that person, it's a real, true concern. And we need to start letting go when we find ourselves beating ourselves up about things that we feel we should be or should have done. That's the word, should. I should be thinner. I shouldn't eat so much. I should have gone to the gym today. Whatever it might be, start to be kind to yourself. Start to accept yourself for who you are. There's other videos on my YouTube channel about growing your love for yourself. Self-love is so, so important, and becoming okay with the person that you are, accepting yourself for who you are. And equally, if you have a partner, accepting them for who they are and letting go of any desire to control them or to make them do things that you want them to do to try and suit you. Try and let go of all of that. Try and become independent and at the center of your own life. People will like you more. It radiates because you feel strong, you feel confident and empowered in your life. And when I say be independent, I don't mean be independent of your partner. I mean be able to be your own person, and that radiates. We want to stay in our own business. As soon as we find ourselves in someone else's business where we're trying to offer them advice or control their behavior, that's when things become uncomfortable, because we can't control things that are outside of our own business. The only thing we can control is our business. As soon as we start getting involved in other people's business, we run into difficulties, because it's challenging. Sure, sometimes people will do what we want them to do, but often they'll push back or they'll feel a sense of resentment, and it can lead to so much difficulty, so many challenges. If you've not read the book Loving What Is by Byron Katie, I recommend checking it out because she talks a lot in there about staying in your own business, stay in your own lane. It's the best place to be. My final tip for being that bit happier is to get your heart rate up. It really does help. You probably heard it time and time again, but vigorous exercise, whether that's doing 25 jumping jacks in your living room, whether it's going for a run, going for a swim, cycling, heading to the gym, whatever it might be, or even a brisk walk in nature, it really does make a difference. There were so many occasions when I first quit drinking where I would feel really down, really miserable, and I would go to the gym. I'd have a vigorous 30 or 40-minute session, and I would come out of there feeling like somebody had washed the negativity off of me. It absolutely works. And when you find yourself in a funk, that is the thing to do. Vigorous exercise and get out there, get the heart rate up, elevate it. Not only is it great for your health, it's great for your mental health. It's great for elevating your mood. So use that. What are your go-tos? And if you haven't got any exercise go-tos, think about what you might do. You don't have to run a marathon. You can do some gentle exercise. You can slowly build it up. You can start small. Even if you just did 5 minutes to start with and then just built it up, it's going to help you and you're going to feel an almost instant benefit. So take the steps. There's lots of programs and apps for beginners if they want to start exercising that you can look at that are really, really going to help you. But don't neglect that. It's so, so important. And equally with your diet, make sure you're getting good nutrition as well. If you're eating lots of stodgy junk food, that's not going to help your state of happiness. Make sure you're getting the right type of nutrition, the right proteins, the right nutrients. It's really, really important. It gives you more energy and it does help you feel that bit happier. So think about what you're eating. And again, I don't want you to cut out all the treats. I just want you to become mindful of it and consider whether there's any areas where you could perhaps improve it by 25%. Even that is going to make a difference. So hopefully those 6 hacks for happiness will ensure that we're all smiling that bit more. If you've got your own hacks for happiness, I would love to hear them. Feel free to put them in the comments. And if you find that these help you and they make a big difference, again, leave a comment. I'd love to hear about it.